Clowns or mimes? I don't know which one is creepier. I used to be frightened of clowns when I was a little kid, but mimes seem pretty weird too. I'm having a party this weekend for my 12th birthday, and my mom keeps pestering me about having some type of entertainment for the party. I suggested getting a DJ, but she said that cost her too much money. Her suggestion was to hire a mime, but I don't think they would be very entertaining. I know clowns have gotten a really bad rep over the years, thanks to movies like It, and if you ask me, clowns are just scary by default, but I think people are underestimating the creepiness of mimes. Think about it. Mimes are just like clowns, only they're completely silent, so you can't tell when they're sneaking up on you. Add the face paint, and that just multiplies the creep factor. No thank you. I think I'll pass on having a mime at my birthday party. I don't want to be the laughingstock of the whole school for the remainder of the year. I already had enough trouble fitting in when I moved here. It took me forever to meet Ryan, Leo, and Connor. Thankfully, when I did, they were all pretty popular and knew lots of people to introduce me to. And they're all supposed to be coming to my party, so it has to be epic. With my party only a few days away, I asked my friends what they think. Connor and Ryan both agree with me and think that a DJ is definitely the best choice. But my mom already made it very clear that she's not paying for one, so that option's off the table. Once I tell them that, Leo says he thinks I'm better off with no entertainment at all. Mimes are lame. They're not even scary. The only thing to be afraid of are those little flowers they carry around that squirt water. Did you know that they are really soul catchers? We all crack up with laughter. So that night at dinner, I tell my mom not to worry about getting any entertainment for the party. Are you sure, honey? What about a magician? Or maybe a petting zoo, she suggests excitedly. Mom, I'm turning 12, not 2. It's okay. There will be lots of other things to do to keep everyone entertained for the day. All right, well, let me know if you change your mind. But that wasn't going to happen. Not unless she changed hers about paying for the DJ. But when Saturday morning rolls around, I wake up to find Mom setting up for the party. Everything looks awesome, but I'm disappointed to see my karaoke machine set up out there. I was hoping she was going to surprise me with a DJ like I wanted, but I guess she was serious when she told me no. Even though I'm let down, I won't let that one thing ruin my birthday. After we finish setting up for the party, Mom escorts me to the kitchen where an array of all of my favorite breakfast foods are arranged on the dining room table just waiting for me. Apple cinnamon donuts, banana pancakes, maple bacon, strawberry shortcake French toast, Mom's homemade Pop-Tarts, steak and eggs, and home fries. I don't know how she expects me to eat all of this, but I'm most certainly going to try. After breakfast, I'm so stuffed I can barely move, so I head to my room to relax and go over the last few details for the party. I look over the list of games and activities one last time. The theme of my party this year is video games because that's what me and all of my friends are obsessed with. We have a photo booth with video game props, a video game controller piñata, a make-your-own pizza station, laser tag, and a Nerf gun battle. Not to mention the awesome party favors and prizes. Everyone gets to take a Nerf gun home after the battle, and a gamer t-shirt. We have 3 different designs to choose from. Included in the favor bags are an Xbox and PlayStation remote made entirely of chocolate, Super Mario Bros. Pencils, a Minecraft water bottle, and a Fortnite dog tag necklace. I glance at the clock sitting on my desk. 2 hours and counting. I decide to go take a quick shower and get changed. Then I check to see if my mom needs any more help getting ready for the party. She's just returned from Party City with a plethora of balloons. Not only are her hands full of them, so is the entire van. I put on my sneakers and help her bring the rest in and set them up. Then I sit around for the last hour, eagerly anticipating the arrival of my guests. Once 1 p.m. hits, I glance at the clock every 5 minutes. I'm starting to get anxious now because the party was scheduled to start at 1, but it's nearly 1:30 and no one is here yet. Then the doorbell rings. I jump up and race Mom to the door. She's just as excited as I am. She beats me and makes it there first. Then she opens the door and steps aside to invite Leo, Connor, and Ryan in. They gaze around the house in astonishment. Wow, this looks awesome, Connor exclaims. Yeah, Leo and Ryan chime in agreeing. I show the guys around and explain the rest of the things that I have planned for today. While we're waiting for my other guests to arrive, my mom cuts on the karaoke machine and starts setting up chairs in the middle of the dining room in a circle. "Mom, what are you doing?" I ask, embarrassed, even though I'm pretty sure I already know the answer. "I thought we could play musical chairs while we wait for the others." "Mom, just stick to the plan. We're only doing the things I wrote down on the list," I remind her as I usher the guys toward the snack table. While they pig out on snacks, I watch my mom move all of the chairs back to the table. When my other guests finally arrive, we get started on the activities. We play laser tag first, then everyone heads over to the make-your-own pizza station for some lunch. Once I'm finished, I go up to my room to grab the new video game that Mom got me for my birthday. I want to show it to the guys. On my way back downstairs, I catch a glimpse of someone approaching the front door. I thought everyone that I'd invited was already here, but I must have been mistaken. So I open the door to greet them before they even get the chance to knock. I'm surprised at who I see. Standing there on my porch is a man dressed in a black and white striped shirt, black pants held up with a pair of red suspenders, a black beret tilted sideways, and he has a red scarf tied in a knot around his neck. He has the typical mime makeup, the white face with the drawn-on eyebrows, black details around the eyes, and the accentuated mouth. One gloved hand is raised like he was just about to knock on the door. When he notices the look of surprise on my face, he lowers his hand and waves excitedly. Then he reaches down and pulls something from a black bag sitting at his feet. He places one of those cheap cone birthday party hats on my head and then proceeds to pull out a party blower and blow it right in my face. I'm furious right now. Why would my mom get a mime when I specifically told her that I didn't want one at my party? I'm just about to go complain when Ryan walks up behind me. "So you did decide to get a mime?" "No, I told my mom not to. She went ahead and got one anyway." The mime stands there on the front porch listening to our conversation, and when I glance over at him, he has a sad look on his face. "Aw, come on, give the guy a chance. He's already here now," Ryan says. The mime suddenly cheers up and nods his head in agreement as he points inside the house. I let out a sigh and stand aside to invite him in. He picks up his bag, and once he steps inside the doorway, he loops his free arm inside of Ryan's and smiles from ear to ear as they skip away. Then the two of them disappear around the corner to the kitchen, so I close the door and follow behind them. When I enter, I find Ryan, Leo, and Connor standing around the island talking. The mime is standing there with them, picking pieces of popcorn from a snack tray and stuffing it into his mouth. I watch the mime for a moment as he listens intently to what Connor is saying. What I'm wondering is why he's hanging around with my friends instead of doing his job, which is to entertain all of the party guests. I approach them. "Hey guys, I wanted to show you the game my mom got for me." They crowd around excitedly as I pull it out of the GameStop bag. Leo already has the game, Dead by Daylight 5. He got it when it was first released 6 months ago, which he immediately starts to brag about. Although he says that he hasn't played it yet because he has so many other cooler games to play. Ryan isn't allowed to play video games rated M for mature, and honestly I'm surprised my mom let me get it. But after seeing a trailer for it and realizing that all you're doing is running away from scary people who are chasing you, she decided that it wasn't so bad. She said it looks a lot like a grown-up game of hide and seek. And Connor says his parents are going to let him get the game for his birthday next month. Ryan and Connor beg to go play it right now. I tell them that I can't just leave my own party to go play video games. Then, much to their dismay, I tell them that they can come over after school one day next week to play. That way, I'll have some time to myself to get a chance to play it before they do. Just as I'm about to go put it away, Leo suggests that we take a selfie of the four of us. He tells me to stand in the front and hold the game up. "Well, who's going to take the picture then?" I question. He points at the mime, but of course he declines. So I pull out my cell phone and ask my friend Marshall, who just so happens to be walking past at the moment, if he can snap the pic for us. He takes my phone and begins to click away. When he hands me the phone back, I swipe through the pictures. The first few were just me and the guys, but the last 3, the mime stepped into the frame. I give him a look, but he doesn't seem to think that he's done anything wrong. I'm just about to walk away and put the game back in my room when the mime holds out his hand asking to see it. I reluctantly hand it to him. He looks it over for a moment before glancing back up at me, and then he clutches it tightly to his chest. I reach out to grab the game, but he refuses to give it back to me. I have no idea what he's trying to tell me. I don't really care. I just want my game back. Finally, when my mom comes strolling into the kitchen, he darts out the sliding glass doors into the backyard. Me and the guys chase after him as Mom shouts after us, "Time for cake in 10 minutes!" "What is up with the mime?" Leo asks me. "I don't know. I think he's just trying to be funny, but he's starting to get really annoying." When we finally catch up with him near the woods behind my house, I snatch the game from him. "What's your problem, man?" He holds his hands up in the air like he's surrendering. Then he reaches down and starts digging in his bag. He pulls out a large gift wrapped in shiny blue wrapping paper with an orange bow on top. Then he holds it out towards me and motions for us to make an exchange. He wants me to give him the game for the present. But there's no way that's happening. So I turn around and start marching back towards my house. He chases after me, pulling and tugging on my arm, trying to get me to go with him. When I turn around to face him once again, he points to the present in his hand and then gestures toward the woods. I stare into his eyes and see true determination in them. What in the world is he trying to tell me? And if it's that important, why won't he just drop the act and come right out and say it? Connor blurts out, "I think he's trying to say that there are more presents in the woods." The mime nods his head yes, and a huge smile spreads across his face. Then he spreads his arms wide apart. Connor keeps the conversation going. "Bigger ones? Is that what you're trying to say?" The mime nods again. Then he points to each of us one by one. "Enough for all of us?" Connor questions excitedly. The mime nods his head again. Ryan looks over at me. "Do you think your mom could have planned this? Maybe hid some more of your gifts in the woods?" "No, I don't think so," I reply. I look back towards the house. I can see my mom walking around the kitchen. She sticks her head out the sliding glass doors. "John, you boys come in now. It's time for cake." Then she quickly closes the doors and picks up my cake from the island, the candles glowing brightly, and carries it into the dining room. When I turn back around to tell the guys let's head back inside, the mime is gone. "Darn it, I really wanted to see what those presents were that he was talking about," Connor says. I peer into the woods, but since it's already started to get dark, it's difficult to see much of anything besides the trees. Once we're back inside, everyone sings happy birthday and then we cut the cake. "Hey, have you guys seen Devin? He said that he wanted to give me something," I ask the guys as we're all sitting around the table eating cake. Connor says no, that he hasn't seen him. Ryan shrugs his shoulders. "I don't know, maybe he left while we were outside." Leo butts in. "But seriously, what's up with that mime? He was acting really weird. Where do you think he was trying to take us?" "I have no idea, but I'm glad that he finally left," I tell them as I munch on a bite of cake. "Yeah," Leo and Ryan chime in agreeing. Later, just as we're getting ready to do the piñata, I spot the mime standing in a corner of the living room with a group of my friends. Connor is with them. I'm just about to go over there to ask him what he's doing back here when my mom grabs me by the arm and hands me the piñata stick. "Your turn." I take a few swings at it, then pass the stick along to the next person. But by the time I finished my turn, the mime is gone, and the group that was standing there with him have all dispersed and went separate ways. "Hey Mom, do you know where Connor went? He was just here." "I think he may have left. I thought I saw his dad pull up out front to pick him up." "He left without saying goodbye?" I whisper to myself. Ryan walks up behind me and starts begging me to play the video game again. "Come on, why not? People are starting to leave now anyway, and I have to go home soon too." I finally give in. "Okay, but only for a little while." So Ryan and Leo follow me upstairs to my room. I carefully remove the game disc from its case and gently place it into my PlayStation. I grab the controller. The game is only one player unless you're playing online, so the guys are just going to have to watch for now. I select the game map and am just about to join a game when my mom calls me downstairs. I let out a sigh. "Come on," I tell them as I exit back out of the game. We trudge down the stairs and Mom tells me that it's time to open presents. So she calls everyone who is still there into the kitchen, then I sit down in a chair and they all crowd around me. My mom passes me the first gift from the pile and I excitedly rip open the wrapping paper. The tag says that it's from Rebecca. I glance around the room searching for her so that I can thank her for my new skateboard, but I don't see her here. And then I swear I catch a glimpse of her outside in the backyard. I get up from my chair, walk over to the door, and peer outside. She's walking closer and closer to the woods. My heart nearly stops when I see someone else. The mime is out there with her, summoning her towards the woods just like he did to me. I slide the door open, rush outside, and scream her name, but she's gone. My mom follows me. "John, what are you doing? Come back inside." I thought I saw. Never mind. I go back inside and finish opening the rest of my presents. After that, the party starts to wrap up. I thank everyone for coming, and then I hand out the party favor bags as each person walks out the door. Once everyone is gone, I grab a garbage bag from the kitchen and help my mom clean up. We start in the living room. I collect the trash and she takes down all of the party decorations. Once we're done, she plops down on the couch and I sit down next to her. "Happy birthday, honey. I think the party turned out great." "Yeah, it did. Except for what?" she asks. I think to myself, maybe I shouldn't say anything. She went through all of the trouble to throw me this party in the first place, and everything else went great. I guess the mime wasn't that bad. Everyone else did seem to like him. Everything turned out awesome. "Thanks, Mom," I say, and then give her a hug. Then I tell her that I'm going to head upstairs to play my game for a little while. She heads into the kitchen and begins placing dishes into the dishwasher. Once I get into my room, I slide into my gaming chair and start up my PlayStation once again. As I lay my head back and wait for the title menu to pop up, I hear a sound coming from behind me. I turn around, thinking my mom must have started to bring my gifts up to my room. I told her I'd do it later, but she can be impatient sometimes. But she's not there. I get up and step out into the hallway, but the sound has stopped now. Then when I go to sit back down, I hear the phone ring downstairs in the kitchen. I hear my mom answer. I'm not sure who she's talking to. All I can hear her say is, "I don't know. I thought you picked him up." "Okay, let me ask him and I'll call you right back." Then she hangs up and calls me downstairs. As I'm making my way to the kitchen, the phone rings again. "Hello?" "Yes, she was here, but she left a little while ago." When I walk into the kitchen, my mom has a look of panic on her face. "What's going on?" I ask. She covers the mouthpiece of the phone with her hand and whispers, "John, some of your friends, they never came home after the party." Then she goes back to talking to the person on the phone. When she hangs up, she tells me that it was Rebecca's father on the phone, and before that, Connor's mother had called. The phone rings again. Just as she picks it up, I shout, "It was the mime. I know it was him." "What? What are you talking about?" Then she answers the phone. "Hello?" "It was the mime you got that took them," I whisper in a panic. "Shh! John, don't you see I'm on the phone? I don't have time for this." She talks to the person on the other end of the line. "No, I haven't seen him since he left the party." She hangs up the phone and says to me as tears well up in her eyes, "That was Devin's grandfather. He never made it home after the party either. I don't understand what is going on. Mom, listen to me. I know who took them. The mime. He was the last one I saw with Connor and Rebecca. I saw him outside with her. He was trying to lure her into the woods just like he did to me earlier tonight." A look of shock and fear spreads across her face. "A man tried to lure her into the woods? Why didn't you tell me this before? I have to call the police." She picks up the phone again and begins to dial 911. "Well, you saw him too. It was the mime that you got for the party. I told you not to get one." She pauses for a second, then hangs up the phone. "I don't have time for your jokes, John. I was just about to call the police." "It's not a joke, Mom. It's the mime that you hired for the party that was here talking to all my friends." "John, what are you talking about? There was no mime at the party." "You told me you didn't want one, so why would I waste my money on something that you didn't even want?" "But there was one here. Didn't you see him?" She shakes her head and looks at me frowning like she doesn't believe anything coming out of my mouth. Just wait a minute. I took a picture of him. I'll be right back," I tell her as I race up the stairs to my room to get my phone. The phone in the kitchen has started to ring again. I tear my room apart searching for my phone. I check my nightstand drawers, then I rip the sheets and pillows off of my bed and toss them to the floor. I look under the bed and on my TV stand, only stopping occasionally when I hear the faint sound of clapping coming from somewhere in my room. I brush it off, assuming it's just some hangers rattling in my closet. I look everywhere, but I can't find the phone. My mom shouts upstairs, "John, I really don't have time for this. I have to find out where these kids went." "Mom, wait, can you just call my phone for me? I can't find it." She lets out a sigh. I think to myself, what does it matter if I find my phone or not? Because if she didn't pay for the mime, then why was he at my party? Then a moment later, I hear it vibrating, and I'm shocked and surprised because it's coming from the last place I'd expect it to. I creep over to the closet slowly and cautiously, thinking to myself, I know I didn't put it in there. I can still hear the slight clapping sound. My heart begins to race. When I finally reach the closet, I place each hand on one of the little wooden doorknobs and then I quickly slam both doors open at the same time. Then I grab for the string to turn on the light. All I see are my clothes and 5 of my plastic hangers clanging against each other. I breathe a sigh of relief and grab them to stop them from moving. Now that the closet doors are open, the vibrating has gotten louder and I realize it sounds like it's coming from the top shelf of my closet. So I stand on my tippy toes trying to reach it. Damn, I'm not tall enough. I'll have to get a chair or something. Just as I'm about to kneel down to find the folding chair that I know I left in my closet, the light flickers and then blows out. The vibrating stops, and now I hear the clapping sound again. A jolt of confusion rushes through me when I realize that the hangers to my left are not moving, and the clapping that I heard was definitely coming from the right. I glance down beneath my clothes, and that's when I see him. The mime is crouched in the corner of my closet clapping, the speed of the clap getting faster and louder. He smiles, the most sinister smirk I've ever seen, and then lunges at me. Then everything goes black. When I wake up, I'm being dragged through the woods by the mime. The only sounds I'm able to hear are the rustling of the leaves and branches beneath me and the howl of the wind. He must be taking me to the place where he took my other friends. Don't forget to subscribe for new stories weekly. See you next time on
Mime's Nightmares.
Really? You're supposed to click the like button, not me. Ugh.